Hello and welcome. My name is Sebastian, and we do today a longer introduction section for AWS services. So I want to present to you the most common services, shortly in a nutshell in the console, how you create some of these infrastructures, how you use services, to see already on a beginner level what you can do in the console and how you can first use your first services. It is based on the Cloud Practitioner exam. So this video is for everyone who is first time using AWS services. It is also for someone who wants to prepare for the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam and wants to see, despite all the theory which is trained, also how it then looks in the console. And it is for everyone who is just interested in these services and how it is actually working. So let's start with it. I have here 10 topics. So we will first dive into the console. We will do S3 buckets. We will go a little bit in cost and billing. We will have Lambda functions, EC2, VPC, CloudFormation, CloudWatch, IAM, and static website hosting. When this all right now doesn't say you something, no problem, we will go step by step through it. So at first we go into console. I hope you already set up an AWS account. If not, please do this. So you go to AWS and then you will have your email entered and the password, and then you are coming here to the console, and we will shortly go through the most important stuff. Here on the left corner you will have you come back every time to your console. Then here you have all the services. So when you want to have some compute services, you have them here, or machine learning services, you have them here. You have also a search bar. So for instance, we do S3. So you can here have it and then already access it. You see here that I have here this marked with a star. And what does it mean? It will already give you this one as a favorite. So it will be here in your bookmark section. In your bookmark section, you can also move it here back and forth like ever you wish. So this is how you search for something and also create it as a favorite. And then, yeah, when you have this here and you click here on this S3, for instance, you will come to the service. Then on the right, we have here Cloud Shell, which is like a terminal environment, notifications, help, settings. Here you can, use your browser language, or you do here light or dark. Then you have something important. This is the region where you are working right now. As you know, there are different regions and availability zones. These are here. We are right now in US East 1. Then you have here also account settings. Like I said, here's the favorites bar. And then when you have here your console, it could be already looking a little bit different. And how you customize this is actually very simple. So first of all, you can go here to add widgets, and then you even remove a widget with these dots here. For instance, we don't want to have explore AWS, so this is actually like it is on default. No, we want to have now also manage instances, and this we move here. And then what you can also do, let's remove this here also, and this blog post. So with this one here, you can move these around, make them larger. No, I want to have them here on the left side, no problem. And with this, you can customize your home screen. Okay, good. Then best practice for sure is also that you are making this what is just important for you. So as you saw, for instance, I do not so much security. When you don't have so much production environment, you don't need this so much. Let's click here. It doesn't came. Oh, there you go. clicks here out. So usually it could be also something like this. You have your recently viewed or your favorites, and you have your costs and the managed instances, and that's it. Okay, then you have your help panel and also Amazon Q on the right. So this is just an LLM where you can ask questions about the services. So when you would use now an LLM which is outside of AWS, for instance Gemini or Llama from Meta or GPT, you can ask questions about these services in AWS, no problem. It will also give you step-by-step guides and how it works and what it is. But when it comes down to your special account, it cannot answer your questions. So when you would ask how many EC2 instances I have running, or how many S3 buckets I have, or what was the cost of last month's EC2 instances, GPT will not answer you this, or Gemini, but you can ask your queue and it would give you then the answers where to find it and how much cost, for instance, it was occurred. Okay, that's the Amazon Q, and that's to the console. I hope this is first of all enough, and we jump to our next topic. Let's delete this here. Great, S3. This was my phone. Didn't set it on muted. Okay, great. So we want to go to S3. There you go. And what is S3? S3 is a bucket, or is an object storage. So most files or most objects which you want to access with your services, you will use S3. It's scalable, and in the free tier version, you also don't have so much costs with it. It will then later just occur costs when you have larger files there and use a lot of storage space. But in the beginning, for you on a beginner level, you will not have anything more than free tier level. And we want to look now how it works. In the beginning, it has to be set that, like it looks here, that it is a global service, but it is not. So when you create buckets, this is, I would not say directory, because they make you also directory buckets. So I would say just, buckets are where your files or your objects are located. And as you can see, you have different buckets in different regions. So it is important where you are in the beginning, because we are now in US East 1. And when we would create the bucket, it would also create the bucket in this East 1 region. And this is what we do now. So we go to create bucket. Then we say which type we want. So we say now a general purpose. And here comes something important. So my AWS bucket will for sure not work, as it has to be a unique global namespace. So this means for sure somebody used already something like this. So what I sometimes do is a little bit with a name, with the date from today, 06/2/25. This must work. Then you can also copy settings from an existing bucket. If you already set all of this up and you want just to copy it, you can use it from there. But we are here just on a blank sheet, so we don't use this right now. You keep ACLs disabled. You will also block public access, so nobody can access your S3 bucket right now. And then bucket versioning we keep disabled. What is bucket versioning? I have to say here also something. So bucket versioning in the end can preserve, retrieve and restore every version of every object stored in S3. So with versioning you can easily recover from both unintended user actions and application failures. For instance, when you are enabling this versioning and you have a file and you have a newer version of the file, you can upload it again. So you have the original one, then you upload again another version of the file, and you will still keep the old one. It is not that the other one is overwritten. And the same thing is then, for instance, also for deletion. So when you have the versioning enabled and you will delete the object, it will have then just a delete marker. This means it's not gone, and this will help you really to preserve your objects. Not that any other user which has access to your account can delete something, or you delete something, or you have a version newly uploaded and whereas now the old version. With this bucket versioning and this enabled, you will see that you have then different versions, and it will help you in enormous that you don't delete or something, or have every time also updated data with access to the old versions. Then you have your text. So usually I sometimes do S3 and then US East 1 as a text. So later we will also see in cost and billing that this makes sense to have text, because you then find your resources. When you have a lot of resources running, it can also occur costs, and this we want to avoid. We want to know also which services are having these costs, and with this text we will find them. Encryption, not too much detail here. So yes, it could be, so it's server-side encrypted by AWS with an SSE S3. You can also use KMS. So this is another services where you also can store or create your own keys, and there's a dual layer which is like then a hybrid of it. We do here an SS3. And that's it. We will create the bucket. Shortly wait here. And where it is, here's my AWS bucket from today. And as we are now here inside, we will now first upload our first object. So you click to upload, add a file, and we go down here. I have to find something. Here's a thumbnail. Great. We will upload this. It takes a moment. Good time for drinking a little bit coffee. So with the green message, it says to us it's uploaded, so close it. And there we have our thumbnail. Great. So when we now would click on it, we have also the object URL. We see what it is, when it was last time modified, the size, and so on. And the first thing what we will do, we will just open it. It goes here to open, and there we see our picture. Okay, great. And at next, we want to speak about the storage classes. So in your AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, you will have storage classes. And this is now the bell from the church, but no problem for us. So in the beginning it's standard. So this standard is standard. And then you can say, okay, when I have it in infrequent access after 30 days, it can go into standard IA. Then it can go also into a Glacier when I want to, don't access so much. And I don't want to have everything in standard because it will have then also some fees with it. So we can change here of every object where it is. For instance, we put it now into Glacier Instant Retrieval. Then you will save the change. And now it is in the Instant Retrieval. So let's see. Glacier Instant Retrieval. Now when we would go back, in our bucket, we have also under Management, Lifecycle Rules. So these Lifecycle Rules, church is now a little bit longer here. We can give it a name, my rule. we can say that it should be just to, for instance, to JPEGs or to TXTs or to any file which is starting with STHURM, something like this, or you can just apply it to every object. I acknowledge this. Then you say the lifecycle rule, so transition current versions of the object. I acknowledge this. And then you can say after 30 days it goes to standard IA, and then in the intelligent tiering, oh no, we go into Glacier after 60 days. There you go. And then it shows here again what is actually doing it. So first we upload an object, after 30 days it goes to standard IA, and then after 60 days it goes to instant retrieval. We will create this rule, and there it is. So for every new object, when I would now wait for 60 days, it would be going into the Glacier, and with it would occur not so many costs, because it doesn't make sense to have all files just in the standard. After a while, when you have millions of files or you're a large corporation, it doesn't make sense. So it's better when for files which are not accessed so much, you go to Glacier. Okay, good. One more, last thing. Here we have our object, and here we have also object URL. So let's try to access this. And as I said, we blocked public access. So even if we would copy now this URL and open it here, it would say access denied. How we could change it? So first we go to our bucket. We will go under permissions. To block public access, we will edit this. We will uncheck this. It will ask us for sure, are you reasonable in your head that you want to do it? Because to make your whole bucket accessible, usually you don't do this, but in this case we do it. Confirm. And then still we go back to our objects. Still, when we would click here, we will try it again. It doesn't work because we still have to manage our permissions again. We have to manage our bucket policy. Bucket policies is like permission levels again in a JSON format, and this is important. So we go here to edit. We will go to policy generator. In the beginning it's simple to do this. First we have to say which type of policy we want. We want an S3 bucket policy. We want to allow for anyone, so there comes a star. So we want to read an object. It's best probably not here. Let's see. Create, delete. Okay, then we do all actions on the resource ARN. This is this one here, so we copy it, we put it here inside. Add one more statement. Again, sorry, add statement. Sorry, this you have to click. Then you generate the policy. There we have it. So it just says the version of it. Statement 1, we will allow for everyone to S3 to go to our bucket. So we copy it, we close it. We will have this here. We will save the change. Now our bucket policy is also updated. Let's go back here and we go back to our buckets. Let us find one. Here it is. Back to our object, and let's hope it's now working. So it should. We open it and still we have access denied, which is not good. Again, try to open it. Still our bucket policy is wrong, and actually it should now work, but it could be that we have to do here something because we put it into retrieval. Where it is, properties. No. Where it is. Sorry, it's not in the object, it's in the thumbnail itself. So storage class, change it to standard, save change, close it. Now again. No, what's wrong here? Again, let's see. Principal is everyone, all actions. Oh, let's take just the picture as a resource. We will add the statement. We will generate the policy. Let's try it again. So here we have the permission. So we go back. Permissions. Edit. Save the change. I see here also we should have here the star. No. Save the change. Now we go back to our objects and hope it will work. Again. There we go. Okay. So it was a little bit due to this star which was missing. So we can now access also our object from the internet. Great to do. Okay, so we used also the policy generator. We also had our first trouble a little bit, but no problem. In the end, how to get rid actually of all of this. So you just go here to your bucket, click here back to buckets, then see our bucket. We will say we want to delete it. It will first state you it's not empty, so no problem. Click on empty. And then you say permanently delete, empty it, exit it, and again go here, delete it, and now you give here the name of the bucket and close it, and that's it. Okay, good. That was 2 buckets as free. A lot of it. Now we go to cost and billing. So we go here in the console. We will search for cost explorer. Just loads a little bit. As you already saw on the front page, after a while when you are using AWS, you will have here different months and the different usages. So in this Cost Explorer, you will have a breakdown. You can change also here the date ranges. So for instance, we want just month to date, apply it. And there we see in June we didn't have any cost. Even if you do it on a granular basis, we do the last 3 months, is probably better. Okay, then you can choose here on a daily basis. And then you would see on which day you occurred any cost. When you hover over it, you see, for instance, here I used a little bit SageMaker. and this occurred costs. And here, what is this? I used here glue, so you can see it every time in this pop-up. And with it you can see which costs are occurring, and we want to do here something else, and this is budgets. So as long as it is loading, I shortly come back. We have here already different budgets, but we want to create one. Why you create a budget? Because you want to have also an overview when a certain budget is spent, or when it comes in a month that you are spending a lot of money and you have a certain threshold. So in this case, that's why it is also here in this beginner logic one. Before you increase or occur any costs, it is better to set up these budgets, because you get then a reminder on your email address that something is still running and this could happen. And then you can also close these resources. So no problem, we use here a template. We go to zero spend budget. So it will inform us when we have occurred any cost. Then you type in here your email, johndoe@gmail.com. You will be notified and then create the budget. My ad is here not so nice. Why actually? Like this. Okay. Then you can also use a monthly cost budget, for instance. This is also more interesting. So you can say here your amount, for instance 100 or 20. You can again say who has to receive the email. And then you go to create budget. When you do customize, you can also use here cost budget, go to next, and then you will give it here a name of budget, monthly, it starts in June, this is fixed, the amount is 20, it should go for all AWS services, click to next, alerts, next, and then also it will be create the budget. Okay, last thing, free tier. Let's go here. And when you are starting your AWS journey in the first 12 months, you will have also something for free. And here you can see which free tier is used already. So you can have also a little bit of an overview how much still in your free tier environment you have. Okay, good. Was short, but fine to go to costs. And now we do Lambda. So back to Lambda. So we will search for it. Click here. And what is Lambda? AWS Lambda lets you run code without thinking about servers. So you will prepare your code. It could be anything. It could be the code to run something, a short script, what you want. You can also then create triggers. You can also create where something should be outputted. So there's everything possible, and that's actually cool because you don't have to think about any underlying infrastructure, and that's why it's also a lot used in AWS infrastructures. So how we best do it, it's actually simple. We go here to create function. We will use here in this example a blueprint. The blueprint name would be here a hello world. So you see here also process, get an object, S3. So you can also, okay, I have it stored in one S3 bucket, move it to the next S3 bucket, rename it, What else we have? Config rule triggered periodically. We have here API gateway. So there's a lot of stuff, and we want now to do the hello world. We use it in Python. So we give it here a name. Oh, here is already something. My function for testing. Okay. It creates a new role with Lambda basic permissions. Here's our code. Yeah. And then we go to create function. So as you see here, it creates already here our IAM roles. This comes a little bit later with the IAM. Then it tells us here that it successfully created the function. Let's just, you can now change its code and configuration to invoke your function with a test event, choose test. This is what we will do. So again, here we have our code. We will click here, click on deploy. Just wait a moment. With it is deployed, then we go to test and make just test. And what we tested actually, we just give here a short JSON event that it will send a value 1, value 2, value 3. And that's actually it. And before I come now to the next stuff with the AWS Lambda function, we go shortly to some of these triggers. So for instance, when you have then a code which is, okay, in this S3 bucket, every file you have, you rename to this and this, or every file you move here and there, or in my VPC, when it is created and there's also an S3 bucket and there's something inside and I want to do this or I want to do that with my code, you can add triggers. And here you will select your resource, and you see here a lot of resources, also external ones. And when we use here S3, for instance, we can then set the bucket where it is. We can have certain event types and then have our trigger. And when the trigger is done, every time the trigger is started, it will start our Lambda function. And here also you have add destination. I don't know if we can click on it. Yes, okay. So it can then, after invocation and when it is a success or a failure, give you an SNS topic, or it can move something to another location or invoke another function. So there's everything possible. For us in the beginning, it's just that we know now, okay, we can run code with it. We had here also our short JSON event to test the function, and now we go here to monitor. So this is actually coming from CloudWatch logs, and let us wait. I hope that's why I wanted to wait a moment, because we can see then here also that once the Lambda function was invoked, and here we see also the duration. And was it something here, hours or success? Success rate 100%. So was all fine. Okay, so let's go back here to Lambda. So it should be now that we have here one Lambda function. Okay, not right now, as we probably also use the blueprint just on simple one. So Lambda function gives you the opportunity to run your individual code with triggers, with destinations, and you don't have to worry about any underlying infrastructure to run your code. Okay, then let's go here into Lambda function. Also, we want to get rid of our functions. It's mostly good that when you don't use these services or infrastructure, just to delete it, and with it it's gone. And that was all to Lambda functions. Great. Now let's go to EC2. So we go back, go now to EC2. Let us have a short tea. EC2, what is it? It's compute resources. So again, in a nutshell, when you would have your own infrastructure, so this means you have your servers, you have your compute, you have your storage, and you want to set it up all for your company by yourself, you can do this. But in the cloud, it's possible with a few clicks to start a compute, to start an instance, and there you can, on this instance, you can run your application, and then it's fine. And this is what we now do. We will first launch the instance. So we click here on launch instance. We will give it a name. My instance and testing. And yeah, we will a little bit keep here on the, or we'll take a short breath here on the settings. So first you see here which Amazon machine image you have to use. So when you use Ubuntu, choose the Ubuntu, Mac OS, Windows, or anything else. You can also use recents. You can use also from marketplaces or the community other AMIs, but in this case we use the Amazon Linux. So AMI is just, it's a template that contains the software configuration required to launch your instance. Yeah, okay, great. Then architecture 64 bits, it's okay. Instance type, also here important, let's click here on it. Yes, correct. Okay, in your cloud practitioner exam you will also have a lot stuff around instances and the different types. So compute, or what was it, it's general purpose also. And what else we have? Storage, I think it's a while ago for me. And you see here all the different types of instances. So they have then different CPU. Now I compute in memory, for instance. So this T2 medium, for instance, has 2 CPUs, 4 gigabytes of memory. And when we go here a little bit down, here C5D large, so 4 CPUs, 8 gigabytes. And you can already see here also that it occurs costs. So as we don't use any costs right now, we do here the free tier eligible, so the T2 micro. This is really a small compute. Yeah, so when you have a big application, this T2 micro would not be sufficient enough. We have to use a key pair, so we will create a new key pair. So my key for testing, it's a PEM format, in this case RSA, create key pair. There you go, there you downloaded it. Then you use here your VPC. Later we will see also what is VPC, so it's your virtual private cloud. In this case, when we go here to edit, it is your default VPC. Okay, and then you can also create your storage. Later then, when you want to add a new volume, EBS volume, in the beginning you have already storage with your compute, so nothing has to do with it. But when you have an application which needs more memory, then you do here add new volume, and it will also attach this volume then to your instance. Okay, then launch instance, I would say. Take a moment. Still taking a moment. and then our instance is created. Let's click in it. So here's our EC2 dashboard. You see here a lot of stuff. So instances, before we now connect to the instance, let us go here a little bit. Instance type we had a little bit. You can also do launch templates. So this means you will have some templates already created. No problem with it. Savings plans, this is then when you want to set up certain amount of compute already which you need, then you can do also savings plan as you will provision the stuff. AMIs we covered. Volumes is the block storage which you can attach to your EC2, and then you have here also where it is load balancers and auto scaling group. So the load balancers are then important when you have more instances and you want to route the traffic or to balance the traffic to different instances. You can do it. And auto scaling group is then that you are scaling your instances up and down depending on the traffic. So our instance state is here still pending. Now it's running. So we will do this here. We click on it and then we go to actions. Oh no, here we have a connect button. And then we click connect. Will shortly take a moment. You can also connect then via your my phone. You can also connect them via your terminal, and here you have your Linux environment, so you are connected already. Let's see, ls, there's nothing inside. mkdir, so we will make a directory test. Oh. Sorry, typo, like this. So for instance, we already have here now our directory on it. That's it. This is how you go to your EC2 instance. So when you want to close this all, so you close here, and then that it's not running all the time, so you first can do some actions with it. No, here instance state, not actions. So you can stop your instance. Stop. So the stop is initiated. Let's see. Loading instance. It is stopping. Or you can delete it. After or before, just before we go to deletion, you can also, after you stopped it, start your instance again, reboot your instance, or in this case, as we now just wanted to show how it's working, we will initiate the termination of this instance, and then after a while we click here. Could be that it will take a moment until it's terminated. It is here already terminated, so it will not occur any more costs with it. Okay, great. Meanwhile, my phone was again ringing, no problem. EC2 we have. Now VPC. So we go to VPC. Just wait a moment and it's loading. Here we are going to create a VPC. So what is a VPC? It's a virtual private cloud. So actually it's just, a cloud environment where you have all your resources inside. So you can have then your instances running in different availability zones. You can connect your VPC to the internet. You can have in your VPC also different subnets which are public or private. You can have your S3 buckets in VPCs and so on. And we want to now have a look how you create this. So create VPC. in a nutshell, you can think of it, usually when you are in a bigger company, you use VPN to connect to VPC, and this is actually the same. So here you can say in the beginning you just want to make the VPC only. When you do this, you would then afterwards create also the subnets and the routing tables and also your internet gateway. This you can do all manually, or you do VPC and more. And this AWS makes it actually child's play to create these VPCs with different subnets, route tables, and also the connection. Okay. And here again, VPC is an isolated portion of the AWS cloud, populated by AWS objects such as EC2 instances. So at first we will do here a name, my VPC test, and there it is, the name. Then it's here the block, so IPv4 CIDR block. So now we have 65k of IPs. When you do here 24, then you have 256, 48. It's not possible. You see, 24. Then you can choose which number of availability zones you want to have. As we created this in US East 1A, there is now one here, and the second availability zone, different word, is in 1B. So when you would create it now to 1, then you have it just there, or 3, it would go also to 1C, for instance. So we keep it now with 1. You can customize AZs. So first availability zone, you can also change it here. And then you have the public subnets, if you want a public subnet. So to have something which is public or private one, not gateway, we don't use anymore. But here we can also have a VPC endpoint, for instance, that it's already connecting to a S3 bucket or to an S3. And then you can do here S3 gateway, but in this case we don't do it. We do here create VPC. We'll take a moment. We will view now our VPC, and there it is. And now as it is running here, our VPC, we can shortly check if we have the opportunity. For instance, when we want to launch an instance. No, doesn't come now? Yeah, okay. My instance for VPC test. The AMI is clear, and we want to go now here pairs. You can also again check your key pair, but actually we want to go here to our setting, network setting. We click here on edit. Oh, takes a moment here. There you go. Right now it's default, but you can have now here your own VPC. Click on it, and then when you launch the instance, it is launched in your own VPC. Super. Okay. Yes, as you have VPCs, and VPCs are occurring costs. You see here when you go to your VPCs, you have here your default one and the other one. So let's delete this VPC. As long as you didn't attach any instance to it, you can also easily do this. Otherwise you have to detach it. And when you see here on the left side, so there are internet gateways which you can create, route tables, NAT gateways, endpoints, network ACLs, security groups, firewalls, and so on. So everything necessary to create your virtual private cloud. Okay, good. Then VPC we also had. Now we go to CloudFormation. Let's use from here. CloudFormation. Let's have a short drink. Okay, CloudFormation, what is it? It's actually infrastructure as code. So you will have some certain code, and with this code you are creating your environments, your infrastructure. What is it helpful for? It's helpful for that you standardize the creation of your infrastructure. So when you saw that we click here every time in EC2 and we give it a name, we give it on the VPC different subnets, or we create this S3 bucket and with this name and so on. So you can do this via the console. You can do this also via Cloud Shell. And when you do this individually, it could occur that you are making mistakes, not standardized. Yeah. So you want to create every time the buckets with the same security levels, or the VPCs with the same amount of availability zones. And this is what CloudFormation is for. So you can have your code, and this code then will create your infrastructure again and again. So for me, I have here also one. Here, for instance, we have a CloudFormation. It is a YAML file. And here in this case, we will have an input bucket, which we are creating, and an output bucket, which we are creating. So in this case, we will see here that I just have to change a little bit the date. 706.1, because it could be that we already used it. 2706.2. Okay. And yeah, with this YAML file, we will save it. Creation new, name it here a little bit. So with this YAML file, we will create our resources. So you can also use an LLM to create these resources. It is actually good when, as more and more you use the CloudFormation, to set up your infrastructure instead of clicking here somewhere. CloudFormation is really good because when you initiate it and then use it, you can also in the end delete it via the CloudFormation stack. So create stack. So choose an existing template. We will upload a file here in this case. Let's see that I find it now, hopefully directly. Like usually, I will not find it. Let's see, modified. It's not here. Ah, I know where it is. It is here. CloudFormation, here's the creation, here's the new one, correct. So you can also set up, so we use now the file, you can also sync from Git, or you will use an S3 URL. Then we click next, stack name, my stack, upload, today, and then next. Then we need an IAM role. So my cloud role for CloudFormation. This you have to use, and then we click to next. Submit. And now my stack is running, and you see here create in progress. So we click on it, events, and the creation of my buckets is in progress. So let's give it here a moment. Best is we go now to S3, because we want to see if CloudFormation is doing what we want. Back and forth, and here it is, bucket in. 270625 and bucket out, so both are created. Let's see. So resource creation initiated, everything is fine. So with it, creation complete. So this seems to be working. So we now created 2 buckets with some short line of code in CloudFormation, and as you saw, you just have to use these templates to have your infrastructure set up. We can go here also to stack information, and where we have the events, correct. So all is done, and that's actually it with it. So you saw here it is now created, and as I told you, when you set up something like this with it, it's also easily to delete these stuff, because usually when you set up the infrastructure and then you use it for a while and then you want to delete it, you forgot here and there some of the services, and with this CloudFormation you can just click here to delete, and then delete is in progress. So no stacks. So just check here, where are my resources, and they are gone. So this means CloudFormation actually, with the deletion of the stack, also deleted all the resources which were underlying, and it's actually great. So you will never forget something. AWS also makes for you easy to create stacks. So you see here a bit from Infrastructure Composer. So you can have here also an Infrastructure Composer. Let us open it. Will take a moment. So what is Composer for? Make it as a list. Okay. So for instance, you can say I have here my S3 bucket. You can give it a name and so on, and I have, can I search here for a Lambda function? Here's a Lambda function. Sorry, serverless, like always. Let's see if we can get VPC. No, where's the VPC? Here's a VPC. So you can also, with this composer, I didn't use it so much, but you can also arrange your infrastructure and then it will create a template out of it. Or you can use here a Gemini or GPT to let the code run for you. Okay, good. Leave this and we leave it. Great. Now we go back to our topics. CloudFormation we had. Now CloudWatch. We are good coming through here. CloudWatch. Let's see if we already see something. Could be not. So what is CloudWatch? CloudWatch gives you the opportunity to have logs in your infrastructure and in your services. So it will keep track of anything which you've done in your AWS account. And for instance, we before run a Lambda function. So you see it also here, my Lambda function for testing. And let's check here. So we have here our logs. And as you can see on the date, So we initiated the Lambda function, it was loaded, it was started, it gives the value 1, also which Python, which ARN is used, and you can just here go to actions, download this as CSV. So in this case, CloudWatch actually gives you the opportunity to see everything what is going on with your resources, who did something, at which time. You also have metrics, you have alarms, you have dashboards, and as I told you, you can also download the information to create your own metrics from it if this is necessary. Okay, CloudWatch logs. You see also when we go back here, when you use Glue, when you use Lambda, CloudWatch logs tracks everything. Short one was it, yeah? CloudWatch, we have. Now IAM. Okay. Let's go to IAM. IAM is permissions. And what you first could do is create a new user. So when you have your account set up, you are usually the root user. And to do everything with the root user doesn't make sense. Don't do it. And if someone sees your credentials, it's not good that you have this root user in, because with the root user he can do everything. Yeah, he can set up something, spin up EC2s which are costing a lot, or delete something. So it is better to use users, and in this case we will do that. So on user, you will go to create a user, you will give it a name, John Doe, provide user access to AWS console, yes for sure. I want to create an IAM user. We will set up here a password and then go to next. We can add the user to a group, which we do later. Do it, add user to a group directly. Yeah, next. And then create a user. John Doe we created here. Okay, let's go out here. And when we would have the user, we would give the user certain permissions. We can give him here via add permission, an individual permission which is necessary. We can also set up roles. These roles are then specific permissions with credentials that are valid for short durations. And we can use groups. So you can set up a group, name it for instance finance. Then you will add users to this group, for instance me now, and then you will add permissions. For instance, they should use QuickSight. Let's see. QuickSight. Yes, where it is. So you have different ones. Yeah, QuickSight Analytics Access. You can create this user or this user group. And with these groups, you have then for finance something, you have for developers something, or for just interns. And with these groups, you give different permissions, what they can do. And before you created already the users, and the users also you can attach to these groups, and with it you can already have a larger permission level which you manage, so that not everyone has access to everything. And as you saw also with policies, I won't be saved here. Okay, so policies actually are just code, which we, for instance, had in the S3 buckets. So here this admin access gives you where we have it here. Oh, it doesn't have here even the code. Okay. No, it's JSON. Okay, good. So here it gives you everything. And when we go now to another policy, for instance, that is something with S3. So read-only access. Let's go here, check the JSON. So for instance, this policy just allows to, read only something in an S3 bucket. So you cannot upload anything, you just can read. And these policies are even attached to users or attached to certain services. Okay, in a nutshell, IAM for cloud practitioner level, you have to learn also a little bit more than in the IAM Identity Center. And with AWS organizations, you see here down, you also have then the possibility to structure your company. We will also go to root access user management. Let us go shortly to IAMs. And then we have here the users. Also again, you can set up here the users and the accounts and root access. So you can also here enable access to the root user, which I would not do in this way. Okay, and here you see MFA, also important. MFA, you can set up MFA multi-factor authentication for your accounts, and this is very recommended that nobody can use your account or he has the password and your authentication application. Good, this was the 2 IAMs, and I think we are here good through. We close this now and we come to the last topic, which is website hosting. Good. So website hosting, we go to S3. And this time we will create a bucket again. So website hosting, it's just a simple way just to host your website, which is static. So easy one, my static website hosting 2706.225. First of all, we keep all the ACLs disabled. Create the bucket. Then it's here my static website hosting. What we will now need is a index.html file. So we will upload one. I hope I will find here also one. Oh, here we have. Okay, great. So also this HTML file just, is the code for the underlying website which we want to show. So we go here to our, now it's interesting, to our properties. Go here down, 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 and then use this bucket as a host. Edit. We will enable it. Host a static website. Our format is index.html. You can have here also redirection rules. We don't need this. We just want to host this. Okay. And then we have this here. When we would click now on it, what would happen? Forbidden. It's clear. Access denied. So again, we go back to our permissions. We will uncheck this. So we want to access now our website also. It doesn't make sense to keep it away from the public internet. So let's see if we can run it again. No. Clear. So we make again a policy. Again, policy generator. S3. We will allow everyone all actions on the ARN. This comes from here. We'll add the statement. We will generate the policy. Here it is. Close it. Our bucket policy. Copy it here. We will save the changes. Okay, great. And now we go to our property spec. Scroll down and let's try. And there we go. There's our static website. It's here, predictive car prices. So an ML model. So this is how it works. So easily we uploaded our index.html file. We changed the properties of our bucket so that it enabled static website hosting. That was someone. Then we also in the permission section said, okay, we don't block now the public access. Yes, we want public access because we want to access this via the internet. And then we changed the bucket policy that someone can do here something in the S3 bucket. Usually you just get here and read and not allow everything, but in this case, as we wanted just to show how it's working in a nutshell, this is possible here. Okay, great. And I think this is the last one, so we will delete now this object here. There we go. Permanently delete. Permanently delete. Delete object. Close it. And now we go to our buckets. Here it is. And we delete also this. Okay. Great. And we had a lot of topics. So thank you that you are already or still with me. We had a lot. So we checked how it's working with the console. We had S3. We had Lambda, we had EC2, we had VPC, we had CloudFormation, we had CloudWatch, IAM Identity Center. In the end, we also used static website hosting, and we checked a little bit about the cost. I think you have now a great first overview over AWS resources. I'm happy to be your host today, or was your host today. Please check out also my other videos, and I have to say sorry for sometimes here that the phone was starting. It is a live session, so I didn't want to cut it out. I hope I see you in some of the next videos. Please leave a like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.